Hey there, welcome back to Creepy Encounters. In today's video, what the frick are you looking at? Walmart freaks knocking on my door. Good night everyone. I'm a long-time fan/lurker and a first-time poster. This story is fresh, as it just happened a few minutes ago, but I will try my best to give you all the details. So, I'm a Pokémon Go player. I was a mild fan of the franchise as a kid, and now, in my mid-20s, I find that it allows me to get out of the house more often and do something that doesn't involve, well, my house. If you have played the game, you know that there are these places called gymnasiums, where you can place one of your Pokémons to earn you a max of 50 in-game coins per 24 hours. These coins can buy important in-game items, as well as cosmetic items and, as you may have guessed, it's quite the popular feature in the game. However, since I live in a huge European city, there are many players to compete with, in order to secure a spot at these gyms. The reason I'm telling you all of this is to let you know why in the world would I brave the cold winter of my metropolitan city at 3 a.m. You see, it's not just that I'm stupid. It's also because I know most folk are asleep, which in turn allows me to quickly defeat all the Pokémons in a gym and place my own. I have been doing this for a few months and I have been quite successful. So, tonight the routine was the same. Got dressed, got my coat, my scarf and my black leather gloves. I went out and made my way to the first of 3 gyms in my area that I usually conquer in the game. It's actually quite fascinating to observe the people that wander the city at these hours. Well, tonight I was gonna meet a special guy. I arrive at my first gym, which is in a smallish street that curves to the right for quite a stretch. I empty it and place my own Pokémon inside. Afterwards, I linger around the area, taking off a glove to scratch my hand, but overall just managing the game and looking things up. Some cars go by and that's when I see him. This guy, clearly over 180 centimeters, making his way down the street. Now, these are just my county standards, but everything about him screamed thug ready to knife you. Sporting a black cap at night, concealing his face with the shadow. Padded black jacket, with dirty blue jeans and rip-off Timberland boots. My immediate reaction was to keep it cool and neutral and just calmly place my cell phone back in my pocket. As he went past me, he gave me this "what the frick are you looking at?" look, and I couldn't help but give back a small sideways glance, as I put my glove back on my hand. I started walking towards the next gym, which happened to be in the same direction he was walking towards, and he, to my surprise, started speeding up. Then he pulled out his cell phone and tried to phone someone. This immediately reminded me of my girlfriend, as this is a common tactic she uses when she feels she's being followed by strangers. Whoever he tried to phone, however, did not pick up. He looks back at me, keeps walking, increasingly faster. He switches sides and starts walking in the middle of the road, effectively distancing himself further and allowing the parked cars to get between me and him, and then, abruptly, he stops. He turns around and asks, "Hey friend, you know how I can find transportation at this hour?" I'm awkwarded out and freaking out at the same time, so without even looking at him, I just said, "At this hour, only Uber." He starts walking, only when I walk past him. Then it hit me, from my perspective, he was a thug-looking dude that could have very well tried to rob me and potentially harm me. But from his perspective, I'm a 171 centimeters dude in his mid-20s, that for some reason decided to pocket his phone the moment he went past me. Then gave him a sideways "what the frick are you looking at?" glance as he put on a black leather glove and started following him, with not a single person awake around, looking like a hitman or a serial killer. As anxious as I was, he must have been terrified enough to try to phone someone, or pretend to, and then initiate dialogue with a total stranger at 3 a.m., just to be sure that I wasn't a psycho about to knife him. We walked together in the same direction for almost 10 minutes after that, without looking or talking to one another. Just 2 awkward guys who did not want to meet one another ever again. So, thug guy, I won't follow you like a serial killer and you won't meet me ever again. This happened about 2 years ago during the summertime. I had an early flight to catch and I needed to buy some cheap travel-sized necessities before I drove myself, 25F, to the airport. So at around 4 a.m., I drove to Walmart and parked as close as I could to the entrance. As soon as I parked, I looked to my left and noticed someone smoking out of a clear glass pipe. I thought to myself, this is what you get for being at Walmart at this hour. Anyway, I got out of my car and noticed 2 cars in another row of parking spots. The cars were facing each other and 3 guys were hanging out talking. I just figured they were typical parking lot junkies. I didn't think much of it until they stopped their conversation and stared in my direction. I quickly walked in the store, got my things and was walking out. Now there were 5 men standing by the cars and they all stopped what they were doing and stared at me as I unloaded my groceries in the trunk and got in my car. As soon as I started my vehicle, I looked in my side view mirror and saw that they had gotten in their cars and had started them. This made me feel immediately sick to my stomach. I pulled out of the parking lot and sure enough, the 2 cars followed. The roads were quiet and it was obvious that they were tailing me. I merged onto the freeway and they followed. I got into the far left lane, just to validate my thoughts, and sure enough, they were right behind me. The freeway was pretty much empty and my exit was coming up. I live in a downtown area and my exit has 2 options. I chose the option that went to the busiest part of the town, not my exit. These dudes wouldn't let up. When I got to the stoplight to turn into downtown off the freeway, I noticed the cars were full of people, and looked to be only men. This scared the shit out of me. I fumbled onto the internet with my phone to get my city's non-emergency number. As I'm calling, I make so many random ass turns and they follow me each time. I finally get a hold of someone and they tell me that they're sending a cop to where I am. I can't stop my car, so I just keep driving in circles with these psychos behind me. Looked like 8 guys total between the 2 vehicles. The cop never finds me, so I say, fuck it, and I drive straight to the police station. The cars followed me until I got there and they took a hard turn to avoid the station once they realized where I was leading them. I was pissed that the cops did virtually nothing, but I was so glad that I noticed right away and did not drive home. Walmart tweakers, let's not meet. This happened a couple of hours ago. I'm currently in bed trying to sleep off the bad feeling from this encounter. At around 11 I was watching TV and playing on my phone, just waiting to feel tired. My boyfriend was upstairs asleep in bed. The lights were all off in the house, just a lamp on in the living room with me. Someone flicked my letterbox on the front door. It was loud, so I assumed my partner would have heard it and came to see. We live in a pretty unsafe area or a poor city in England. I've been followed, charged at by mental drug addicts, attempted mugging, catcalled, found a drunk man hiding in my back garden, found a man loitering in my front garden, etc. So instantly I was frightened. I went to look at the front door. It has textured glass panels, so I was able to make out 2 silhouettes out by the door. I just stood and watched and saw that one of them was looking into our front room, trying to see what was inside. They must have been in there 30 seconds, then I flicked the hall light on, not wanting them to think the house was empty, and instantly they were scared from looking in my front room to the street. A few seconds later they started knocking on my door, so I ran upstairs and had to wake up my partner because I did not want to open the door and was so scared they would bash it in. I looked out the bedroom window and there was a man on the street. He looked up at me and held eye contact without blinking or looking away even for a millisecond. He was speaking slowly. I mouthed what once or twice, hoping he would shout, but he didn't. Thinking back, I wonder if he was looking at me but talking to the other person he had with him. I rushed downstairs to confront them. My partner came down and started to put on some clothes. By the time I had grabbed my keys and opened the door, they had gone. No sign of them at all on the road. This isn't the first time someone has tried our letter flap at night. Last time I answered with my partner, and they had some bullshit reason which seemed made up on the spot, so I'm now thinking that they're testing houses to see which ones are empty for robbing. But whatever the reason, the way the man looked at me was really creepy and I really hope he doesn't come back. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe for more real life creepy encounters around the world. See you in the next video. Bye.